I hope you can only do that with brambles.
Another glorious battle.
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Well, if you insist.
Everyone okay?
Look out!
Here we go!
You are out of your depth here, Inquisitor. You, or you're worse in the situation.
Ruined.
You understand none of the forces at work here.
The circle of Archmagic is overstated your resolve. Again.
I don't know how to explain this any better. This is not a problem to solve with cannons or steel.
No wonder your guard got so angry. I feel the same way when Ludwig's near.
Envoy, I hope you found what you were looking for, because those ruins are about to be a distant memory. And the Dream Scourge. Yet you walked away unscathed. Fascinating. This is a spring from which the Dream Scourge flows, injecting poison into the veins of the island.
No, a cleansing fire. Poison? or pure.
The same poison that spread to Fior Messiverno, and even now rots the city from within. Stand by my side, and we can strike a blow at the Dream Scourge, and at Sapadal. We'll see about that. I've been watching you, Envoy. You, who survived when so many godlike fell. We fought side by side. No one knows your strengths better than I do. What lengths you'll go to on the path to greatness. No one has even glimpsed what you truly are. Not as I have. The light that shines from within you is blinding.
The undead woman has a silver tongue, I see.
I even asked the gods what made you so remarkable. And the burned queen opened my eyes to what you are. We knew the chaos of the living lands had an origin. How could I have known that you were its offspring? This isn't your choice to make. Not when our fates are intertwined. There are two plagues in the living lands. Help me destroy one, and the other will follow.
Ashes, nothing of the Akita will remain.
We may not burn out the Dream Scourge here, but we can burn out its symptoms and take the fight to your patron.
Spirits cry out, bury the fire, but still they rage.
Fighting a superior force is one thing, but fighting a god is another. Is she really suggesting that?
Always thinking with your sword. You zealots never change. I happen to like these ruins. They've been very informative. Without them, I'd never have learned there was a new god in the living lands.
Another reason why they should be destroyed. Sapadal is dangerous, but an archmage is more unpredictable by far.
I do love it when people choose to listen to reason. I have an alternate solution to the problem at hand.
This should be amusing.
I am not talking to you, am I? Don't interrupt me. I enjoy reminding bullies how toothless they really are. Anyway, I can sever the connection between the Adra in the ruins and the rest of the living lands. It will isolate the dream-scourged essence and halt the creation of new dream thralls in Shatterscarp. But those that exist will remain. My solution will end the plague in this region, I believe, and keep Ludwig from having to do terrible things to those nice ruins. I knew I liked you for a reason. Yes, there is a catch. It's also what you may call a large one. Severing the Adra will require the use of a truly immense amount of essence, which well, will result in a few deaths.
A few deaths? What about Quilici? And the other Furians? And Quilici?
Gentle sleep. One moment day, the next, a poppy's dream to carry them to the Garden of Night. They would feel no pain.
I'm so very glad you recall.
Well, in layman's terms, she's going to rip the essence out of a bunch of people in Shatterscarp. For what it's worth, her theory is sound. She could stop the Dream Scourge. In Shatterscarp, at least.
A few dozen people may die. Possibly 100 or so in the more dire scenarios.
What? This is your solution?
There is no control over who will perish in the process. But it will stop the Dream Scourge from spreading in Shatterscarp. No new Dream Thralls will be created.
Reingrim is one of the smartest people alive. If she says this is the way, it's hard to argue. No matter how much we might want to.
You can't be entertaining this. Not after what we've seen. The frozen corpses, the twisted riddles. The Dream Scourge is a tragedy, but she's a monster. You can't leave Thirdborn at her mercy.
It's not an ideal solution. But it is easier to save a life when you've amputated the necrotic limb, so to speak.
At least I'm not the only rational voice in this debate. She would sacrifice the very people we're trying to save, and for what? Not even to destroy the Dream Scourge. Merely to slow it down.
Destroying the ruins and killing the Dream Thralls within is also a short-term measure. Ludwine's solution will eventually result in the same number of casualties, possibly even more. If such an alternative existed, I'd have suggested it already. So long as the Dream Scourge exists, more people will become infected. And the infected will take more lives, and this will continue indefinitely.
She has no idea what the consequences of her actions might be. And neither do you. Envoy, I want to show you something. I swore an oath to my goddess. A solemn vow that I would give everything in service to her. Even myself. And I did so, gladly. Zapadal wants the same devotion from you. The only difference is, you never had a choice. Hardly surprising. Sapadal brought you back from the dead, which means they have power over you. A blade held to your throat. You owe Sapadal nothing, and yet they demand everything. That is not devotion. It's cruel.
Yes, quite difficult to decide whether to believe your new god or the angry skeleton actively threatening us.
This isn't about Sapadal. This is about every man, woman, and child in Shatterscarp.
Godlike. I leave the choice to you. Both options will bring harm. The question is, which will bring more good? Countless will die regardless if the Dream Scourge is not stopped. Remember the village and the statue it couldn't repair. Remember the lesson I tried to teach you. None of our lives matters. Not when they might cost us the future. Now choose, Envoy. Destroy the ruins and the Dream Thralls, but allow the plague to keep spreading. Or sever the Adra and end the plague in Shatterscarp, with an unknowable number of casualties.
She toys with you with innocent lives, while I offer only the truth.
Good people die either way, but severing the Adra shortens their suffering, I hope.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Ludwine's right. I hate what the Dream Scourge has done to Thirdborn, but letting that Archmage snuff out even more lives is worse. Destroy the ruins, Envoy. Whatever comes next, at least it's something people can fight or flee.
Call it an experiment. To see if a mortal can think of futures beyond one's lifetime. And be less sentimental than the village about its statue. Also, I rather loathe the Inquisitor. She's far too used to getting her own way.
Ideological and self-absorbed. You hold a blade to the throat of my soldiers, but that's no excuse for wasting my time. Envoy, I hate to be in this position, but at least the choice is in Adiran hands. So choose.
What? No!
I will honor your decision, even if I think you're a disappointment.
Your patron deity might object, but the living will thank us for it.
Burn, destroy, we twine.
Soldiers of the Steel Garrote, you heard him. Bring it down.
Bring it down.
The Dream Thralls are no match for our might.
Congratulations, Envoy. You listened to your reason instead of your patron. It takes an ironclad will to defy one's god. Even better. Unlike Sapadal, I have no use for blind loyalty. Destroying the ruins brought us valuable time, but the threat of the Dream Scourge remains. Be on your guard. You and I are willing to do what it takes to restore order in the Living Lands. Heelgard lacks the spine to do what's right, but we won't let that stop us, will we? For now, this is where we part ways. The Steel Garrote and I follow a different path. No doubt it will cross yours eventually. As do I. We'll see who finds it first. One more thing, Envoy. I know what happened to Captain Alfear. You fought valiantly, and she fell in disgrace. But now you have a debt to the Steel Garrote. And one day, I will collect it.
If we can't kill her, I like knowing that we at least made her day worse.
Let the Steel Garrote show you how it's done. Destroy it all! Let the Steel Garrote show you how it's done.
Finally, those old ruins have a purpose.
Absolute destruction.
Finally, those old ruins have a purpose.
Absolute destruction.
There wasn't much choice, but you made the right one.
You have destroyed a place of great power. A part of your heritage, no less. Now that I know a new god was the reason for those anomalies in Naku Kobel, there's nothing left for me in the living lands. You acted as any soft-hearted mortal might, I suppose. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. The Dream Scourge may cost an untold amount of lives. You may have caused an absolute catastrophe. But that is for you to wrestle with. I'm done here. However, I have one final question for your young wizard.
For... me?
You have shown a great deal of talent, Yatsley. Few can dispel my illusions so easily. I could use your assistance. And the companionship. It's really dreary being alone. Should you wish to return with me, I would happily take you on as my apprentice. The rest of the Circle do not often visit, which is good because they're tiresome. You, however, are a power worth shaping. And rather delightful to boot.
Well, obviously, I'm... Wait. Really? You want me to... Wow. That would be... amazing! But, I have to think about it. At the very least, the Envoy would be lost without me. And so would my lover. Though the idea of finally devoting more time to magic is... tempting.
Yes, my work will still be there even when this world is in ruins. Which, hopefully, won't happen. Whatever you decide, it will be some months before I depart. You know where to find me. Be clever, godlike. Don't think too much with your heart. So much to do. So many books to sort.
I'm sorry. But before anything else, I need a word with you. Of course, I understand the impulse of wanting to save those in Thirdborn.
You understand the impulse? Where's this going?
But think of all that we lost. Because of you and that monster. Again, I understand the impulse, Envoy. But you must think of future generations.
Did you really just say think of the children to justify killing?
I've heard enough. Even Ludwig wouldn't go that far.
Ludwig is a fool. Her brain has rotted away with the rest of her. We have no reason to believe that the Dream Scourge has been stopped, by the way. It certainly hasn't stopped Dream Scourge from appearing everywhere else in the Living Lands.
Then maybe we turn a few more of these ruins into heaps of rubble. I can't see anything good that's come out of them. Maybe stop talking while you're ahead.
Years of lost history found, just in time to be erased by two Adiran fools. I suppose I thought you were smarter than this. How disappointing. Reengrim knows more about the Dream Scourge than the dead woman burning down homes.
I hate to say it, Yatsley, but we're not changing anyone's mind today. Let's talk later. Just the two of us.
Fine, fine. You're right. It's done. Let's just focus on getting to the garden.
So, we found a map to the garden. Now we see how accurate those ancient godless cartographers could possibly be. Not sure how helpful that map will be, really. There's probably a reason no one's been to the garden in centuries. That'll be cold comfort when everyone thinks I'm crazy for saying I've been there. I figure either it's a complete dud and there's nothing really there, or we all lose our minds the second we show up. Either way, was it worth it? Who knows? I wish I was as convinced as you are. The thought of going to speak to a god on their turf, it doesn't make sense to me. I guess that's not my problem, really. My job is to keep you alive, whether you've got a god in your head or not. Just don't do anything stupid, all right? Anyway. Thanks for talking. Listen, that back there in the ruins, that was a lot. I know you passed 3 trials, but I'm not sure what that means exactly. Right. Makes sense. The important thing is that you did it. It's not that I didn't enjoy tromping around in the ancient death trap, getting bossed around by spirits and all that. But I really do hope this was the last time. That kind of humidity does terrible things to my beard. Anyway. You too.
Envoy, we need to discuss what you did in the ruins. You destroyed something that was... I'm trying to remain calm. I have to remember that you had a reason for what you did. Nothing infuriates me more than to do what Ludwig wants, but... I'm not unhappy with what you did. Those ruins were literally priceless. They had real Echidans in there. Think of how far my research would have shot forward. But we would have had to sacrifice so many for it. And I can't say that's a fair trade. Usually I know the right answer. It's obvious. Here, though... Of course. Because a common reaction to being set upon by dream thralls is to placate another monster.
Leaving your home behind isn't easy. It's for the best sometimes, but it's never easy.
All right. I understand. I'm sorry, Envoy. This is my life's work. And that skeletal maniac attacked my home. I'm just a little more raw than I thought. It's all right. I think you've earned a bit of trust from me. Things have been unreal. We spoke to actual ancient Akedans in the ruins. I was able to ask questions and get answers. True. Though switching it up might be more confusing to those not in the know. I'll figure that conundrum out before my research gets published. But to go through the trials ourselves? Oh, could we be any luckier? Fascinating. I can't imagine what it was like to grow up a godlike with no god. I'm glad you got answers, sweetheart. Well, I have to start writing this all down before I forget. But do return if you think of any other juicy details. I've been trying to sort my thoughts since we left her domain. We met Ringrim. The Ringrim. Master illusionist of the Circle of Archmagi. And we impressed her? She even offered to make me her apprentice. As smart as you are, Envoy, I sometimes forget that you are still a layperson. It doesn't feel real, but it is. Oh, Handra's titties. What am I going to do? If I take the apprenticeship, I'll have to leave Quilici and Fjord. And what about my study of the Godless? I've spent my whole life with them. Quilici is non-negotiable. He's my heart. But there's more to life than just Fjord. Even if it is my home. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do everything all at once. There are only 26 hours in a day. I love my life as it is now. Exploring as I wish and coming home to open arms and a warm bed. I don't want to give that up. But this is something I never even dreamed of. But it's big. It won't leave room for much else. And I'm too old to... Oh, Envoy. What would you do? Oh, darling. Don't you know that I'll do what I want no matter what anyone thinks? I just wish to ask a friend his opinion. Now come on, answer the question. What would you do? True. No one else is exactly excited to pick up that torch. One day, I could even have an entire treatise, so that their story lives on long after me. Or maybe I'll get my own apprentice. Leave them to do the tedious writing while I do all the fun stuff. Thank you, dearie. I can't promise I'll act on it, but I really appreciate the advice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to write a letter to Quilici. He'll never believe me.
Can we talk a moment? I wanted to pick your brain about Shatterscarp. The ruins of Naku Kubel predate civilization as we know it. We had so much to learn from them. But the Steel Garrote care nothing for the past. Only the future, as long as it's under their thumb. I'm not saying it was an easy decision, or that you should have acted differently. The fact remains that we played into our enemy's hands, and what did we get in return? We delayed the inevitable. Better than nothing, I suppose. Though not by much. I'm holding you to that. Maybe there's no right answer to any of this. Maybe all we can do is keep going, leaving chaos in our wake. I just wish the world and its problems would leave us alone. Even for a moment. Give us time to focus on our mission. Ourselves. No, I haven't. And yes, I should know better. A good night's rest would fix my head, but can't fix the world we live in. Maybe it's fine if they're both broken. While I have your ear, can I ask you one more question? Much appreciated. Something about Inquisitor Ludwig has been getting to me. She seemed eager to distinguish your Adiran loyalty from your nature as a godlike, as though the two are incompatible. She believes you can be loyal to your country or to your nature, but not both. Do you find that unusual? To be sure. It's just... When you agreed to destroy the ruins, Ludwig was surprised, as though she didn't believe you would do the right thing. Ludwig clearly respects you, but I don't believe she trusts you. Maybe she never has. Anyway, that just had me thinking. Could be nothing, or could be something. Time will tell. Get some rest. You deserve a nap. For that matter, so do I. What do you want to know? Pleasant dreams.
Never thought I'd be going back to Galawain's tusks.
Relax. We won't embarrass you too much.
Let me guess. You burned some bridges on your way out, and now we have to cross them.
Think whatever you want. I just don't.
Take your time, dearie. You can tell me everything later over tea.
Right. Can we talk about something else?
Of course. Though you were the one who brought it up.
Kai's still wearing socks from last week. Let's discuss.
At least I've washed them.
How could they? Beloved that you are, and still they bared their fangs. We blessed the Tabaru Sinakis, and they prick us in return. Blood on the wire. Roots like a wall. We only meant to protect. We thrashed against the blinding light to keep the Akita safe. We never wanted this. So many seedlings lost. We grieved, but we saved many. queen. She hurt us, hurt our people. She did this. Yet still the branches swipe. We mourn, we could not be to blame. They should have shared our love. Their spite, this we could not foresee. But you are here, a green shoot after the fire. You would not raise your hand against us. Freedom from the garden, a lamp to light our way. Sleep now. Dream of golden poppies on the road ahead.